Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk, back another video today. And today, the Brooklyn Nets have signed Killian Hayes, the former lottery pick for the Detroit Pistons, 7th overall pick for the Detroit Pistons. Killian Hayes still a very young player. I mean, it's crazy to think that Killian Hayes is going into his 5th NBA season and just turned 22 years old. I will give him that. I will give him that. Killian Hayes is a terrible basketball player, but I will say this is a guy who just wrapped up his 4th NBA season, and just this month, tomorrow's his birthday. No way. July 27th is his birthday tomorrow, so he turns 23 years old. So maybe the Nets signed him because it's his birthday coming up. I don't know. But he turns 23 years old literally tomorrow, July 27th. And so, I mean, this is a guy who came into the league at 19 years old, so I will give him that. But Killian Hayes has been terrible. He's been a bust. One of the biggest busts there has been. Probably one of the biggest busts for the Detroit Pistons in near history. But went 7th overall with Detroit. And in 4 years with Detroit, he averaged 8 points per game with Detroit. This past year was the worst of them all. 7 points per game with 5 assists per game. He's not a bad facilitator. That's the thing. He's, in his career, he averaged over 5 assists per game. He averaged 6 assists per game in the 22-23 season, but he is so terribly offensively. Not bad at getting to the rim, but, occasionally will miss the easiest shots in the world. Shot 41% from the floor, which for a player as terrible as Killian Hayes is and shoots so terrible from 3, 41% isn't that bad. But shot 29% from 3 and is terrible, terrible defensively. So, but, funny enough, not only does Brooklyn already have Ben Simmons, who can't shoot, and also has injury problems, just like Killian Hayes has had in the past. Had injury problems in his rookie season. Had some injury problems in the 21-22 season. And so yeah, this is another guy who's a bust, who's had injury problems, can't shoot the basketball. So, I would love to see Killian Hayes and Ben Simmons on the court together. Now, it has been reported that Killian Hayes will fight for a roster spot. So this is not a guaranteed roster spot for Killian Hayes. He will have to fight for a roster spot. I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction. It's just looking at what he might do in training camp and preseason. I look for the guy I wish that he's able to have success and he does good and turns into a good player, because he's still so young. He's 22 years old. There's still time for him to turn things around, if you ask me. So it's not too late. And maybe a change of scenery, because we haven't seen this guy play anywhere besides Detroit. He's only played in Detroit. Maybe him playing in a different place, maybe he'll be a better basketball player. We've seen that with other players. Many players have struggled, been terrible on one team, then they go to the other, and it's like they're a different player. So I'm not ruling that out for Killian Hayes with the Brooklyn Nets. But if I had to guess, I would probably say that he won't. If he's fighting for a roster spot, there are some talented guards on this Nets roster. I don't think he makes the roster. But I won't rule out the fact that he has been playing with a terrible Detroit Pistons team with most of that time terrible coaches. Look to Wayne Casey. I think he has a nice background. But at the same time, he is a guy who in his last couple years in Detroit wasn't doing a great job coaching. And then Monty Williams last year in Detroit, I think Monty Williams is a good head coach, but that was not a good year of head coaching by Monty Williams. We've seen him do some great things in Phoenix. Monty Williams looked like a great head coach in Phoenix, but he was terrible in Detroit. So, it's not like Brooklyn has much better at the head coaching level either. They have a first-year head coach that's going to be coaching in Brooklyn this year. So, let me know your thoughts on the Nets signing Killian Hayes in the comment section, and peace out.